Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Road to Reopening the First 30 Days. I am Rick Emmerich, Superintendent here at Fort LaBeouf, and alongside me, as always, is our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Sean Wolfram. Also joining us later in our conversation will be Mrs. Kim Sullivan, our school nurse at Waterford Elementary and a critical member of our district's pandemic team. As we prepare to surpass the 30-day mark of our return to school here at FLB, we'd like to begin by thanking all of the staff for their hard work and perseverance in supporting our students and our families throughout our return. We would also like to thank and appreciate all the students and families for working cooperatively with us and supporting our schools during these very challenging times. This is not the school year that any of us desired or imagined, but it is here, and this is where we are currently finding ourselves. Heading into today's session, our hope is to touch on 5 key areas. We hope to review our current county and Fort LaBeouf School District specific COVID-19 data, update our community on the history behind as well as the current status of our middle school targeted school closure, share the district's perspective on various media reports indicating that the number of probable cases we are experiencing are directly connected to our sports programs, review the governor's newest capacity guidelines for indoor and outdoor events and what that means for FLB. Finally, Mrs. Sullivan will cover some social responsibility tips that will assist our families in helping our district slow the spread of the virus within the FLB community. Dr. Wolfram.
Thank you, Mr. Emmerich. Per our phased reopening plan, our team continues to closely monitor county and district health metrics to evaluate our district's ability to provide our parents with a choice of online or in-person learning options for our students and their families. Currently, Erie County remains in the moderate range and has an infection rate per 100,000 residents that is showing an increasing trend in the number of COVID-19 cases. Over this past Saturday and Sunday alone, over 40 cases surfaced. Of those cases, 1 individual was associated with FLB. This individual was deemed to be a probable case, and all close contacts have been notified by the Erie County Health Department. We have also been keeping a very close eye on COVID-19 data that is specific to the areas within district boundaries. In short, the data that is available to us is exclusive to the Fort LaBeouf School District and provides the current level of community transmission for the zip code areas that make up or cross over into our district. These 5 zip code areas include 16403, 438, 441, 506, and 509. As of October 5th, this data shows that our district is in the moderate range with a total of 22 COVID cases, with a lion's share of those cases falling within the 16506 and 16509 zip code areas. As of yesterday, the breakdown is as follows: 11 cases in the 506 zip code, 8 cases in the 509, 2 cases in 441, 0 cases in 438, and 1 case in 403. Again, it's important for our community to note that the above numbers reflect both confirmed positive and probable COVID-19 cases. It is equally important to emphasize the CDC and the Department of Health identify and approach the confirmed positive and probable COVID-19 cases in exactly the same manner. This means that isolation requirements, contact tracing, and quarantine periods are the same. While we know that our district may fluctuate throughout the year, we are constantly monitoring the changes over time as we continue to take measures aimed at slowing the spread of the virus in our community. Along those lines, we feel it is important to go into a little more detail and share an update on some of the data points specific to our schools, as well as the measures our team has taken during the first 30 days as they pertain to COVID-19 cases. Mr. Emmerich.
In terms of our district numbers since reopening on September 9th, we have uncovered a total of 10 probable cases, 9 of which are related to our recent middle school situation. 8 of these identified are students, and 1 is an employee who is a family member of our student who is identified as probable. As a result of the middle school experience, 66 individuals have been identified as close contacts and/or household members and are currently under quarantine. At our high school, 1 probable case has been discovered and 15 individuals have been identified as close contacts and/or household members and have also been quarantined. Within our FLB schools, we have not been notified nor have we uncovered any confirmed positive or probable cases of COVID-19. Please be assured that should this status change, we will immediately notify families, work closely with the Erie County Health Department, and take measures consistent with guidance from health professionals. In summarizing our situation from the middle school last week, we would first like to point out that all measures that were pursued by the district were consistent with the Pennsylvania Department of Health guidance and confirmed through close communication with the Erie County Department of Health. If interested in reviewing the FLB COVID-19 instructional models and targeted school closings rubric, please go to the COVID-19 link on our district website. There you will find this, as well as other resources that guide our team through this pandemic. As a side note, we do want to thank the folks at the Erie County Health Department for all of their support. They are an incredible group of professionals, and their guidance has just been terrific. Sean.
Once the district was made aware of the fourth probable middle school case, we followed protocol and closed the school building for a period of 5 days. Shortly thereafter, we were made aware of an additional fifth probable case, which led us to a 14-day targeted school closure. As it stands today, it appears that the number of probable cases impacting our district has stabilized, and the middle school will reopen and welcome back students and staff on Tuesday, October 13th. In terms of other Fort LaBeouf schools, each will remain open, and we will continue to monitor county and district data. In addition, we would like to reiterate to our families that our district has yet to receive a report of a confirmed positive COVID-19 case within our schools. Please understand that this does not mean that there are not any confirmed positive cases within our school district boundaries. However, within our schools, we are taking every reasonable precaution to slow the spread of the virus, and to date, our efforts appear to be achieving that end. Mr. Emmerich.
In related topics, various media reports have drawn a connection between our athletic programs with the increase in the number of COVID-19 cases here at Fort LaBeouf. Given these reports, we find it critical to follow up and bring clarity to this commentary. On Friday, October 2nd, our community may have watched a local news report highlighting a recent spike in COVID-19 cases and that high school sports teams are responsible for those increasing numbers. Specifically, the story shared that the latest cases have been traced to Fort LaBeouf, as well as another local school district. Just today, another local news article shared that our middle school stopped in-person classes several days last week after several cases were reported. Please know that the statements made in Friday's news report as they relate to FLB are not accurate. On the contrary, none of the students who have been identified as probable COVID-19 cases here at Fort LaBeouf last week participate in FLB athletic programs. Regretfully, it is true and incredibly unfortunate that some of our athletes were impacted here at the district, but these students were identified as close contacts and have been quarantined per the Erie County Health Department guidelines. Again, to date, no confirmed positive or probable cases have been traced to district-sponsored athletics. In terms of today's news article, we were really grateful to see that a clarification was made and club sports were brought into the conversations, as such activities are not directly connected to our school district. That stated, we do have many students who participate in local club sports, and the possibility of kids coming in contact with the virus at these events is also a reality. Our hope is that organizations hosting such activities adhere to strict mitigation measures, just like our own here at Fort LaBeouf. For example, wearing a mask when attending as a spectator for both indoor and outdoor events. As you know, we want as many of our community members to see our kids in action, but attending to our recommendations for facial coverings is critical. As our community is aware, our team here at the district has developed a sound return to play plan, and our administration, coaches, athletes, and their families are doing their very best to follow the procedures in hopes of preventing the spread of the virus in practice or on the field of play. Sadly, we are at the mercy of COVID-19, and it is possible that a confirmed positive or probable case could surface within our athletic programs. If that occurs, our team will respond accordingly and do everything that we can to protect our kids and our families. Sean.
As you may be aware, Governor Wolf has amended the venue capacity limits, and they are scheduled to go into effect beginning this Friday. These amended orders will allow for venue occupancy limits to be determining the number of spectators permitted at both indoor and outdoor events. So what does that mean here at FLB? All of our outdoor and indoor venues fall into the range where we are able to allow 20% of the maximum capacity. So specifically, at Carmen Benito Field, we will be allowed to have 609 people. In the high school gym, 185 people. In the auditorium, 131. In the middle school gym, 82. Please remember, these numbers include spectators, participants, referees, everyone that is in the venue. They are counted towards those numbers, which I just gave to you. We'll be releasing more details later this week on the distribution and how folks will gain entry into events at those venues. Now, to one of the most important people on our pandemic team, Mrs. Sullivan. She's going to review and discuss the mitigation efforts to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Thank you, Dr. Wolfram. Mr. Emmerich, thank you. I first let me say I'm so happy and I feel so proud and so fortunate to be part of the Fort LaBeouf community. Our students, their families, our staff, and our administrative team truly care about one another. I've seen examples of this care and concern many times over the last 19 years. That being said, I would like to talk a little bit about social responsibility. COVID-19 is a global pandemic that is affecting not only our schools and our families, but our state, our country, and indeed our whole world. There's absolutely no one in the world that has not or will not be impacted by this pandemic. I think we can all agree that we want our students to be in school learning, whether that's virtually or in our brick and mortar school buildings. Being socially responsible means that we're doing everything we possibly can do to keep ourselves and our families safe during this pandemic. What we do outside the school day can impact what happens during the school day. Our activities outside the school day could expose us to someone who is sick and they don't even know they're sick. Our goal is to keep our children in school as much as possible. So we're asking that people practice everyday preventative actions to reduce the spread of this virus, COVID-19, and to be socially responsible. First, practice social distancing, also called physical distancing, which means keeping a safe space between yourself and other people who are not from your household. To practice social or physical distancing, stay at least 6 feet, about 2 arms length, from other people who do not live in your house. And that goes for indoor and outdoor spaces. Avoid large crowds whenever possible. Second, mask wearing. Please wear your mask whenever you are not in your home. The latest science affirms that cloth face coverings are a critical tool in the fight against COVID-19, and this could reduce the spread of the disease, particularly when used universally within communities. Your mask needs to cover your nose and your mouth, and your mask protects me, and my mask protects you. Third, avoid touching your face with unwashed hands. Washing your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds is an infection control measure that will help decrease the transmission of this virus as well as cold and flu viruses. Lastly, please do not send your child to school if they are sick or exhibiting symptoms listed on the at-home screening tool, which is listed on the Fort LaBeouf website. Please reach out to your building school nurse if you are unsure. The nurses at FLB are a wealth of knowledge and will help answer any health-related questions you may have about COVID-19 or any health-related issue for that matter. I've been part of the Fort LaBeouf community for over 19 years, and I know our students, I know our families, our staff, and our administrators all want to keep everyone safe and our children in school. Thank you again for all your support in helping us decrease the transmission of this virus. Mr. Emmerich?
Thank you, Mrs. Sullivan. You have certainly been a critical asset to our team over the past couple of weeks, and we can't thank you enough for coming in and sharing
Thank you.
some of your thoughts with our community. That is all we have for this session, and barring any unusual developments, we will see you again in approximately 60 days at some point in November. Again, please stay tuned for our updates, which can be found via email, our district website, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks again for all you do in support of our district in making Fort LaBeouf a fantastic place for our students, family, and staff. Have a great day.